I'm going to talk today about the size and the scope of government. It seems to me that on this issue there can be only three positions possible, which is that government is too large and should be decreased in size, that government is too small and should be increased in size, or that government is the right size and should remain the same. Now, I suppose there could be other positions, such as in some areas government is too small, and in other areas too large, but still that hybrid position would, if summed up in totality, fit in one of the three areas. So, I believe, as conscious citizens of any nation, as observers, participants, and active members of the political process, it is incumbent upon us to take one of those positions. Now, my position is that government is too large and should be reduced in size. We will forgo at the moment any discussion in terms of how, that is, how government can be reduced in size through limits on taxation, decreases in spending, constitutional reforms, and the like. While these technical questions are important, they are irrelevant unless the philosophic battle is first won, that is, unless we can decide collectively, if you will, as much as I abhor the term, but it is delightfully ironic to use it in this sense, unless we decide collectively that government is too large and must be shrunk, then it matters little how we plan to do so. And I believe, perhaps not at this moment, but at least in the past 50 years especially, and still even today to some degree, perhaps a large degree, it has been accepted by the general population that government is not large enough and must be increased. We have seen throughout the 20th century massive increases in the size and scope of government in virtually all areas of our life, and many individuals, economists, philosophers have warned of where this trend is taking us towards totalitarianism, collectivism, socialism, economic fascism, the warfare welfare state. Now, I believe, as I have stated earlier, that government is too large. Why do I believe that? It seems to me that we cannot engage the question of the state and its existence and its scope, its scale, its general definition without first undertaking a question of morality. I believe that politics is primarily a discussion of morality, that how we wish to proceed in terms of the political arena, in terms of the state, is really fundamentally a moral question. And so I pose to you the question: what is good and what is bad? How do we define these terms? And I'm going to stay silent for a few moments while you think and hopefully formulate a response. did you come up with anything? So, what will I caution that this following the subject is extremely vast, morality, ethics, and I've only begun to really contemplate it. But let me propose the following: that which is the result of voluntary interactions between individuals is moral and good, and that which is coercive, violent is wrong and evil. This is the foundation of voluntarism. So, many activities that occur in society are voluntary. For example, when you have a job, when you work, that is a voluntary interaction between you and your employer. This is good. This is moral. This is just. When you go to church, when you contribute to the church or not, as you please, when you gather with individuals in a place of worship, this is moral and just and good because nobody is forced into it. There is no violence inherent in this institution. In our communities, when we gather for sports, basically anything in which nobody is forced to do something. Now there are situations where force is justified, generally in the negative prohibition of violence towards others. I am forced not to murder, but that does not mean that somebody forcing me not to murder is bad. So what is bad? Well, for example, if I were to break into your car at night and steal your CD player, this is an immoral action. This is theft. This is aggression against your property. This is violence against you, as your property is an extension of you. Your body is your property. Uh, Violence against your body is violence against you. Violence against your car is violence against you. If I were to enslave you, point a gun at your head and say, "You must work for me in a mine. You must, or you must work somewhere and give me your entire wages, or, all but enough for you to eat or sleep or live." This would be wrong. This would be immoral. This would be evil. And so, it is my contention that fundamentally the nature of the state is that of coercion, of violence, that behind every action of the state lies violence. And thus we must minimize the state to minimize the evil it does on society. I'd appreciate any comments, feedback, disagreements, agreements, viewpoints, concerns, questions. I'll be happy to answer any at your leisure, and I thank you for listening to my viewpoint on this subject.